We're live and back in your ear holes. Let's get into it. Oh God, that is so funny. The stuff we talk about off camera, it's so
turn your
dirty.
hair down, yeah.
It's dirty. It's so blue. Oh flip! Are we going to be blue this season?
It's the one colour we never do.
We're
red.
Yeah. I
Blue
wore a
and
blue
red.
top the other day and it just felt kind of icky.
Yeah.
Well, we're back and we are live from Greenhouse in Belfast City Centre.
Yes, welcome. Welcome to our new spot. And hi, Seán.
Hello.
I paused for an audience reaction there.
You want your Jeffrey star?
I need to get like one of those like wee things that they have in live studio audiences. No, like the applause
yes.
line.
Yes.
I need that for gigs.
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes.
What we are going to do here is, today it's a bit of a special, actually. We're not quite back for season 2. We're going to be giving you guys an update on Greenhouse and what we've been up to over the last while. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking to Seán about his bye-bye, which is how I imagine English people say baby.
It is.
And we are going to be giving you all of the insight tea and what's been going on, and also what to expect for season 2, which is coming up next week.
We have been busting to get back doing this. Like, you forget how much we all kind of enjoy the therapy session that we all get from it, you know. But yes, Seán's studio has moved. Baby is born. Nicole is all healthy and everybody's happy.
Change.
And
it is all change.
And we gave birth to our baby as well, which is like a huge building.
It's been a journey. At least we've been sleeping.
Yeah.
The sleep has been tough, but we're getting there. It's a beautiful experience to have. Like,
you sweet
gorgeous. Well, do you know what we're never really like the people who are like aware even, and there's not that many people around us that have had kids over the last few years. But with your baby coming, we were like kind of messaging with each other and like messaging Brona, going, "Well, have you heard anything yet? Wasn't it supposed to be Wednesday? Haven't heard anything, and it's Wednesday. What's happening?" And it's
the
like
royal baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe the not so royal baby, whatever the opposite of that.
Yes, same hype.
I was born on Halloween, and they called me the Antichrist for years. You know?
Called what? Like you're saying that in the past tense?
Yeah. Talking of the Antichrist, we're live in our space on a Saturday morning. We don't know when this is going to go out.
Yeah.
But we are tomorrow going to be launching our Church Without God, our event that's like a church.
Yeah.
But without God,
Yes.
we have lightly wordsmithed that so we don't get David McElveen and his tribe outside with their placards saying that and kind of just putting it out to the universe. Because if we did get them, I'd probably live.
Yeah.
You know, that moment, that sort of scene in Devil Wears Prada where she walks out and she gets attacked by the fire protester. And she said something along the lines, or maybe it's not even the same movie, but something along the lines of, "Oh, I love New York. I want that moment. You know, you're the devil." Just to say, "Oh, I love organised religion."
Yeah.
I don't know if the Westboro Baptist Church have
the God
branch
hates fags
here.
lot. Yeah.
But a few months of Greenhouse, and maybe.
I've been trying to work
like
on
their signage.
I've been trying to work on how to use that signage for a while in my mind. Like, is it fags hate God, which is too much?
Yeah.
Or is it whatever it is, but the way that they sort of piece together the cardboard and the way they do the letters, and it was in part of that Louis Theroux documentary where they showed how they tape the sign and how they sort of make them look like shiny and strange. There's something about that kind of way of hand making something that's really beautiful. It's something that I think that we can do here, which is
wouldn't that be so funny?
Yeah.
If we had a workshop for how to like
so like a God hates fags workshop.
Yeah.
God hates gags.
Thod hates gags. We're going to have to establish the character of Thod.
Yeah.
You know, just some wee sort of curmudgeonly man.
Yeah.
You know, these are all very colourful and free.
As Brona like named in her gig last night. Hiya, Brona. Mervyn. Mervyn.
I think that's the best. I think that's the best. Sort of, it's the best idea of a character for that type of person. So, what happened last night? So, a few things. One, we sound a wee bit sick.
Yeah.
Because we're recovering from. We got hit
Yeah.
really bad. We had like a week of being really very, very sick. We were meant to record this last week, and we pushed it back, and we just couldn't push it back anymore. Hence, it's a special and not quite season 2, because we're not quite set. Although today, where we're driving
Season 1.5.
Yeah.
Season 1.5.
Yeah.
You know, this is the extra bits on a DVD.
Yeah.
You know, the bits that nobody watches, and I'm like, I'm here for the director's
Like the Christmas special.
Yes, it is. It's the spring special.
Yeah.
With the director's commentary, I'm gonna like do a voiceover over the whole episode.
Oh, please.
Yeah. At this point, Becky actually did do a fart.
Yeah. Gets a wee bit boring in this bit, so skip forward if you want to.
Interestingly, Luke came in the door at this point. This cut was because Connor...
started coughing.
yeah.
Interestingly, last second we decided to change Connor's glasses,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
which is exactly the type of insight.
The sort of the Connor's eyes this week were AI enhanced, and took 4 hours of work on a computer rendering machine.
Worth it, I'm sure you'll agree.
I should work in IT. And what we were saying is, we sound a wee bit sick because we are very, very tired because we've just given birth to our baby. Very difficult when it's a 4,000 square feet building. Much easier when it's a human baby. Seán, like, get over it.
For nothing.
But also, we were out last night. We went out to Brona Diamond's gig. You said hello to Brona, but I don't even think there's any point just not watching. But the fact that we were contractually obliged last season to speak positively about the woman, we no longer have to do that, which is wonderful. So expect a season 2 full of Brona Diamond hate. And where we'll be doing a recap. We'll be doing the director's cut on her episodes.
Yeah.
And just sort of going, not funny.
Yeah.
She tried her best.
Not bad for a woman.
No, but we did. We went to a gig last night. We're talking like
so
we're
good.
we're very hungover or something. We're not.
No.
We had one drink.
We
I drove home.
Yeah.
But it was really, really, really good. It was in Thornbury's in Lisburn.
Run by Rob, who is lovely.
Oh my God, like a complete sweetie. Did you ever go there, Thornbury's?
No.
It's a really good place for a gig. Really? Yeah, they've got a glass roof terrace and a stage and all the rest of it. Like, so do check it out if you live in Lisburn.
It looks like a little sort of, it just looks like a cafe, sort of near their sort of shopping centre, and then upstairs there's a massive room.
Yeah,
and then
for
they've got a license, and they've got like this bar on like a rooftop at the back. It's really, really sexy.
Yeah.
Just last night they put everyone on the bar on the rooftop at the back for Brona Diamond from Deepest Darkest West Belfast with her act that is very that.
Yeah.
And the bands were playing.
Yeah, there was like a full parade in Lisburn last night.
It was the most. It was actually beautiful.
Yeah,
but
it was.
She at one point one of a couple of her family had came, and one of them had a flute with them. And she said, "Give me the flute."
Like a tin whistle.
A tin
like,
whistle.
Very different.
They weren't there for the bands, and she was able to play the tin whistle. She sung a few tunes. She actually kept on getting halfway through jokes and just being like, "Ayo,"
and like doing this, like marching on the spot.
Could you hear the
really
100% really loud? Yeah.
Like, at points, she was speaking into a mic, and at points there was big lambeg drums going past, and it was just getting louder and louder. And normally at a comedy gig, you really shouldn't record anything because it's their material and all the rest of it. But I was recording wee bits just to sort of put together a reel for her. So we've probably got little clips of the sound that we'll show you afterwards.
That's fucking
but
hilarious.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
She handled it really, really well.
It was the most beautiful serendipitous moment where she sang a song that was kind of a bit more of like a rebel song, and she sang it in a way that was like perfectly to the beat of the band that were playing outside. It was this like kind of like cross community cultural thing, and it just kind of like everybody in the room, as soon as she finished, everybody in the room just like,
so she get a grant for just doing that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
But it was very, very funny. We've seen a few wee friends that we knew that were there, and Kiva Murray was one of them.
Yes.
So hello, Kiva, and hello, Stacey. Nice to meet you, darling. So it was lovely. We did that, and then we went home and continued. So we didn't get very on sober there. But we did in the house. I was Billy Big Balls and thought we would really go for it when we went home, and I basically passed out
straight away.
Woke up late, still feel not quite right, And we are now, we're live in your ear holes.
Yeah.
So one thing that we would love to let you guys know, we'll get into all of our updates on Greenhouse and what we've been up to and all the rest, but one thing that we would like you guys to know is that Show Some Love Live is now going to be actually live. So the reason why we're called Show Some Love Live is because there's another Show Some Love podcast. They are bastards and we hate them. They just talk about love and relationships, and it's very
down with all that sort of thing.
It's very unhelpful. It's very sort of overwhelmingly positive and just not our vibe. But because of that, you can't search it and you can't ask your Alexa and or smart speaker to play it. So it's called Show Some Love Live, just so it's searchable. But we thought it would be really nice if we invited people in. So our setup's going to be something like this, but we're going to just give it extra and really get into it. But we're going to record maybe a few at a time. We're going to have sometimes guests, sometimes not, but then we'll we will invite people in, maybe some of our volunteers or supporters, maybe some of you guys, if you'd like to do that. Maybe we'll open it up so that...
Send us a DM to our Instagram.
Yeah, so that people can apply. And we can deny them. We can be the door bitches of podcasts.
Let the power go to our heads.
But truly, if you want to come, if you want to, I don't know how it's going to work. Maybe it will just be for the vibe. Maybe it will just be sort of is it voyeuristic?
Yeah.
Maybe it will be a voyeuristic thing, or maybe it will be more interactive. So you can ask questions, you can say something, sort of something like. Sean's just sort of sitting there in the corner like, for fuck's sake, this is like another level of production. But something kind of like the Nolan show. So multiple cameras, it's full, like I want like a boom shot, all that kind of stuff.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Oh, very that, like the walk-in, we were all talk as well, but we've been giving birth to our baby and we've been sick. But we were all talked to do like a whole sort of new title sequence and all. But that was one of the ideas, was that thing that like, oh God, I hate to even say their name, but someone like James Corden does that thing where they leave the dressing room and they sort of pass all the staff that hate them. And they're like, hey, bro, hey, I'm going to the stage and here's the crack. That kind of a vibe where, we'll come from our dressing room. But no, so we're going to be doing Show Some Love live. So that's quite interesting. We don't know how that's going to work right now, but we're going to work it out. And we have also had conversations with some really amazing guests. So we were on Frank Mitchell recently to talk about Greenhouse and the launch and what was coming up. And he, live on the radio, confirmed to us that he will come. So he is coming.
So we're on a promise with Frank Mitchell.
We're on a promise to Frank Mitchell. Frank, if you're out there and you're listening, which I'm sure you are,
obviously,
we need you, we'll want you, and we want to ask you lots of questions. I think his main concern is that we're just going to go straight in for the bum and talk.
Yeah,
you'll be kicked out of his church. But we can keep it clean. We can be professional. We've did that with like last season. We had guests like Kate Nichol, who allowed us to ask her anything. But we also at the same time want to welcome. Other maybe political leaders or people out there that are have to be a little bit more careful about how they use their words and what they talk about. Yeah. So we just didn't go straight in. We just talked about legalization of cannabis and what else?
Well, we want people to feel safe, and we're also like, we can be respectful, at the same time, and understand like what somebody's given us, the gift that they're giving us by being here. And then also how we can reciprocate that by giving them a chance to talk about things that maybe their traditional formats wouldn't allow for, But we've got, some very exciting people coming. And I want to just very quickly also say a few hellos. So I don't know a first name, but I want to say hello to Big Summer Fruit, who comments constantly on our YouTube and has been messaging saying, when is this coming back? Well, we're back. And so thank you very much for all your lovely support.
Big Summer Fruit, it's your time of year. It's come.
Yeah, totally. So come and see us whenever you're in Belfast. I also want to say hello to Raina, who has been messaging us on Instagram. And I want to say hello to Mickey Murray as well. But I also want to say the biggest congratulations ever to Mickey Murray, who is going to be our first, we say openly, that is a word that I'll talk about that in a second. But Mickey's going to be the first openly gay Lord Mayor of Belfast. And they're going to be having their, so this is like some brilliant news for the city. And not just for queer people. Do you know, like...
Do you think they used to call that wee boy Sticky Mickey? You know, and now he's got the necklace.
Disclaimer, not true.
He was. he came for the lunch, and he was standing in the queue, and I actually let your mum in.
Yeah.
So your mum came direct from hospital.
Yeah.
Got her out of a car, got her up the stairs. I was like, everyone clear the way for Big Jerry. She's here. It's Becky's mother. Move. And there's a big queue down the street and all. It was amazing. But Mickey was standing in the queue very patiently, and he says, excuse me, I'm the what is it called? The first person of Belfast?
Yeah, the first citizen.
The first citizen.
Yeah.
I'm the first citizen of Belfast. I says, you're fucking not yet. Wait till you get your necklace.
Yeah.
And then you might jump our queue. I was having the best time ever outside, actually.
Again, park on the head.
Yeah, sort of just like having the crack with people and sort of reading them a wee bit. But at the same time, then afterwards, sometimes I'm like, where are you from? And they're like, I'm here from the National Lottery. Yeah. And you're like, oh, God, welcome. You can jump the queue, actually. That's important. Mickey, stay where you are. But yes, how wonderful. So he's going to be mayor. And he is also he's also gay.
Yeah, but also just like one of the sweetest, most passionate, like fierce, caring, funny, just all of the great acronyms that I can give about a human being. Mickey is it. They have the most incredible experience working in the third sector as well. You know, they've worked in homelessness organisations. They've just basically got a bit of a clue about what people care about and then how they can use their position in the same way that other, you know, people more recently have done so as well, to be able to use their position to be able to make things better for people, you know. So we couldn't be more proud, and we're really, really delighted to hear that wonderful news. So hopefully Mickey has said hopefully that they'll come on to the podcast as well at some point this year. So
the straight people in the comments here have says, now that the gays are in power, is this Armageddon?
Yeah, so we're on the rise. Mickey is going to be mayor soon. What other? Who else? Kieran Moyna is leading the legal sort of wave here when it comes to human rights,
isn't it?
God, the list is so long.
Yeah.
But we're cornering every part. You know, if we sort of take a little corner of a sort of an independent queer media space, Mickey holds the reins of power in Belfast City Hall. What else are gays doing? Loads of stuff.
Yeah,
loads of stuff.
Ketamine.
The what?
Ketamine.
Yeah, that's actually that's why I got stuck, because I went to Coke. You know, what else are guys doing? And it's like Coke, you know. Or actually,
it's all mushrooms now. That's
I heard my brain served me Coke, and then it served me poppers, and both I was just like, for fuck's sake,
here we go again.
Like, there has to be a moment just for just to celebrate it and to be serious.
Yeah.
But to be serious, we are really, really, really proud of Mickey and so many other people around the city that are making waves. There seems to be a real wave, especially within the alternative queer scene. And we're so happy that here at Greenhouse we're able to provide a space for that. We've already had groups in from queer Palestine groups to get-togethers and sewing groups to lots of things. We've got lots of plans coming up. But if anyone's wondering what the fuck is Greenhouse, well, we would first ask if you've been living under a rock. But we've been in this space now since the end of January. It is our city centre base for Show Some Love, and we are here as it's a 4,000 square foot space that the public can access downstairs. You can pay in right now. There's an intro price, but you can pay a £10 in for the day or a £5 in for a half day and come and use the space and chill out and use our Wi-Fi.
And our sewing machines.
We are sponsored by the lovely people at Bailey's, the lovely coffee people, and also Minor Figures. So
Project, not podcast.
That's what the crack is. Maybe soon to be podcast though. That'd be nice. But we've always got great coffee on. There's always great things to do, and you can come and connect with our community here. The reason that we are here and the sort of reason for that existing is to, one, bring people together, which is our job, but also to provide a space for our existing projects, which we've got a clothing bank called Free Store. We've got a toiletry program called Love Pack, and we do lots of other things to provide direct aid to people who are marginalised and are living in hardship. So upstairs in here, isn't it mad? Like
Yeah.
really, the space is incredible. If you've got some time, come down, say hello. There's loads of events on, but the ground floor will be open to the public, and then upstairs we're soon to be releasing, or maybe we've already released whenever this goes out, a membership program, which will be priced somewhere around the same for use of the space. But rather than giving artists and activists and change makers and creatives their own private space that sometimes in arts communities people can sort of disappear to, and you lose them, you lose the community. It is a share space, so you can come, use some of our equipment, maybe you bring some of your own, learn some new skills, practice your skills that you've already got. You'll have then a space to do things like workshops and get-togethers and all the rest of it. But upstairs then will be a private members community, as in you will apply, and we'll make sure that you're not some nutter far right turf, or that you are some crazy religious person that wants to evangelize or whatever. You're not a Zionist. And if you are that, we're perfectly within our right to give you the boot and keep people safe, so that they can come and really just be themselves and grow and develop in a way that is best for them.
We've got a gorgeous program coming up for May and June as well. And some of the things that we've already done is this week we did our first Queer as Folks meetup group, which was gorgeous.
We're actually gays.
I know, it's like surprise. But what we did was invited people to come along, whether they were, because it was in response to getting questions. It was people that we knew, friends, family, like long term, like people that we've known that maybe had a queer kid and they were struggling with some elements of what that might, how they can be the best parent to the kid. Because it's one thing to, listen to your child, and they could be 12 or they could be 30. Do you know, and it depends whether somebody might have come out a long time ago, or they might be just starting to come to terms with who they are, being honest about who they are. And sometimes it can be helpful to just ask some other queer grown-ups, do you know, what would you have liked to do? Or what would you have liked to have experienced differently, type thing. So we just thought, well, we've got the space. Let's just do it. Let's just set it up super informally. We'll just sit around, drink coffee. We'll invite some other sort of grown-up queer people to come along that are like happy and healthy and all the rest of it. And we basically sat around a table, and we had some parents come along, and we had somebody from Carafriend came along, which was really great. So thank you to Gemma. And we basically just sort of very loosely and gently facilitated a conversation. And it was gorgeous. The feedback from it was amazing. So we'll be running that again next month.
Wow. Hopefully that looks sort of like Bewitched.
Yeah, everything's just like slightly better.
So for anyone that is listening and not watching, what are you doing? Get onto YouTube and have a wee watch. You can see us, and you can see us you can see the new space as well. We're in the space, actually. We didn't really even say that out loud. But we have shifted everything slightly because we're just trying to work it out. We're at a very straight table, and that's problematic for us.
It's the only straight thing about this place.
Yeah, I think actually this table might change. I would love the round table back.
Yeah.
I was just saying to Becky there, where we're talking about Queer as Folks, which was an incredible night, and we can't wait to have it again. We're going to be doing it, I think, once a month.
Yeah.
It's just really powerful. It's powerful not even just for the parents in the room, but for the other queer people, just to sort of almost like reparent themselves. It was good to be able to just to give what felt like to sort of give your parents the advice that you wish you had when you were that age. And a lot of the time it is just, sometimes it's that you're overthinking it. Yeah. Sometimes it's that you are trying your best. There were people in the room that I just sort of afterwards wanted to, reached out to say, I want to let you know that I would have died to have you as my folks. Yeah. Like you're the fact that you're here and that you're showing up and that you're really trying sort of says it all, But I think it's that event and so many more, like, with our objective being to bring people together, that really did that. Like, people have connected since then. We're actually going to go up to Ilse and Alana's house, and we'll maybe have a wee bit of a barbecue. They've connected with another few people. Yeah. We're saying them out loud because they're our friends and they are very vocal in this space. But for anyone that does want to come, it's not like how we run a lot of our other events. So there won't be any cameras. We don't record anything. It's all completely anonymous if you want that. You can also just come and just sit and listen.
Yeah.
And just sort of see what the crack is. I think as well, a lot of it when people call in and they want to just speak to the gays is because they don't know and they maybe don't have a lot of people around them.
Yeah.
Maybe their kid's trans or they're gender fluid or something like that. And they just want to sort of see. I think sometimes it's our job just to show like we're normal and but we're human and we're regular, and it hasn't. Yes, it's hard and people are dickheads, but it hasn't entirely fucked us up. And actually, we started off that session by talking about the sort of the superpower that queerness gives you.
It's like, what's your favorite thing about being queer?
Yeah.
You know, rather than it being like, well, you know, like what are the hard things? It's like, no, actually, we're way at the other end of it. Like, I would not want to not be myself and experience the world as a queer person. Do you know, I feel like having entered this world much later in life, like for me, it's just like, it is a privilege. Do you know?
Yeah.
And it's just re-spinning that to people around the room who hear all of the scary, nasty bullshit, and they also see us getting it. You know, like we only maybe week before last, we're once again being accused of being like pedophiles and child abuse because we support the trans community.
We're basically we're at the same time as being pedos also accused of like hating children.
Yeah.
We've never found this middle ground.
Yeah.
I suppose pedos don't love. Like, we were really trying our best to like, you know, not have YouTube fucking bury this in the algorithm. But there we go. We're talking about pedos. But we're I don't know, we're trying our best, and there's angry people out there.
Yeah.
It's also, I think one of the messages too is to say, and Panty Bliss was saying this on this week's podcast with Blind Boy. It's so powerful. I have listened to it so many times, and it was this just very casual talk where some people get really lost in the letters and they get lost in the movement and they get lost in all the drama and all of the hurt and all of the pain. And Panty was just like, well, I'm just kind of glad that, you know, from their perspective, I'm just kind of glad that they're not putting us in prison anymore.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I know you're all raging online that I invited this politician to the bar, that I told them that they could come and make content and do the thing and bring the press. But I don't agree with them, and I think they're a dickhead. But I'm all biz that they're chasing the vote, that gays have a place, that we have a voice, that like my image matters in an election campaign, like that. It's focusing on those, and I think queer as folks, we got there, you know, of just this like, it's hard and some people won't get it, but a lot of that's online. Yeah. A lot of that is just crazy nutters that just want to bring you down for anything. Yeah.
And they're cowards at the end of the day as well, because the same people wouldn't say it to your face. No. And if they did, they would have a conversation on their hands, you know, but anyway.
What was that wonderful comment the other day? And
it's
so fun.
It was on TikTok. Somebody said, like, normally using's turn me, but actually I agree with you on this. It's because we were talking about, we shared the clip about like the difference between religion and faith. Do you know that like faith, gorgeous, great thing, knock yourself out, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in the universe, whatever that looks like. If you take wee bits of different religions and that's what it personally means to you and you do good stuff, great, lovely, beautiful force. Organised religions, mostly toxic forces in the world. So it was basically that clip that we've said before. But using's turn me normally. I was like, wow, okay.
I think that's sort of sometimes the misconception. It's like, do you not want anyone to take you seriously?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, like our work is very serious.
Yeah.
It can be really fucking depressing. Some of the stories and things that you have to take on board are horrific. The sector is broken. Like, as queer people, we're surrounded by sometimes horrible things. Yeah. But we're trying to bring some joy. We're trying to be silly. We're not trying to be too serious. And we've said it for years. We're professional attention seekers. I read that and it got me in the heart a wee bit. I was like, oh, that sort of the child in me that still wants to please people was very like, oh, but we're really trying our best, and oh my God, we turn them, and then the adult was able to come in and just sort of say, wise up. Yeah, it is actually, look at it from someone else's perspective. It is funny.
It's one of them ones where you're like, thanks.
I
think.
But it's also like there's the superpower of knowing that, like, whenever people say something like that to you, and they're articulating how you make them feel, like that means that they're projecting how they feel about themselves onto you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, whenever you know that, like, about that is how people work, then you can also see that in yourself. So if you're like, they turn me, you have to go through the uncomfortableness of going like, oh, why did they turn me? Is it because I see myself reflected in that, or because I know that I have that in me, even though I don't do it anymore? Like, is that something that's triggering for you?
Do you know what turns you? It's freedom.
Yeah.
It's just a freedom not to give a fuck.
Yeah.
And we give fucks. Like, we really care about what we're doing. We take it. We're obsessive about all of it.
Yeah.
It's all very important to us. And it's like,
For
without
good
sounding
reason.
too worthy, it's our life's work. It is a joy. But we are free. We can say what we want. We are reasonably independent when it comes to our organisation. We've forged a much more difficult path to get here, but I love to dance a bit like a dickhead and to create that reaction.
Yeah.
Because actually, for every negative comment or every sort of somewhat sort of shady comment like that, there's then someone else that will reach out and say, that really helped me. That podcast, I've never heard someone speak like that before, and I've been through that. And that thing was really killing me that you were laughing about, and now I feel a wee bit lighter about it.
Yeah.
That kind of a way.
But it's also, it's like people in the arena, do you know? Like, I can guarantee to you that the people who are not on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram trying to put shitty comments onto your work, I guarantee to you those people are not in the arena. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whenever we then have like face-to-face grown-up conversations with people who could not be more in the arena, like, and I'm talking about like CEOs of major charities in the city, like business
CEOs
people
and CEOs
and CEOs,
Yeah.
like, but
Girl
people that
bosses.
have got like, they're really trying hard. They've got presence. They've done the thing, and they're coming to us, even in the arts sector, the charity sector, the business sector, coming to us and being like, how do you do that thing that you do in that way? And I can also tell you that this is the right way, because I wish I could undo some of the stuff that our organisation has done, or that our organisation now is in this place where it's kind of stuck because we're so burdened by all of the structure and the process. We got a really good piece of advice recently from somebody, because we're in the process of creating structures and policies and all of those things. And somebody came to us and said, do you know what? You need to have a lot of that stuff, obviously, and we will have it. But they said, please don't overdo it, because you can end up like losing whatever the magic is that you have, do you know, in terms of the trust and the way that we act as grown-ups. And we need to have a lot of structure and process for that, but we cannot over-engineer it, do you know, because this place is a magic place to be in, you know.
That same person said that we have the energy. So one of their favourite memories and most creative kind of places to connect and work with other people was a squat that they were living in Dublin, this like arts squat, and that sounds like a read. It was not, but they said that some of the energy that we bring is of that kind of like anarchist, will just do it kind of energy, and that's the thing that you don't want to lose. That you'll lose that in the processes, in the sort of sometimes very bureaucratic way that other charities and other organisations work. I love that now we're sitting in Greenhouse and we've been waiting for years. We've had all the ideas and we've had all the conversations and we've worked out the need. And now we can say, oh, so queer as folks, for example, we want to do that. We want to get people together. We want to support parents. Let's do it next week. There's a graphic, stick it out.
Yeah.
We've always wanted to do like a fund raver, where we're calling it for years, but now it's called Sunset Disco. We are doing it with DJ Seán McCann and
so exciting.
Lots of other people. It's so exciting. It's the 26th of this month, so this isn't out by then. Go and get your tickets if they're still available. But loads of other bits. What are we doing? We're doing that Sunday service.
So it will have already happened by the time this comes out. But we've got like the format of a church, but just as a reason for people to come together and have a bit of crack, sing some pop songs, listen to some good advice from some switched on people, and basically stand around and drink Bailey's coffee afterwards and have some nice buns and cakes and stuff. And just one of the main purposes of this building and of our work and as our obligations as a charity are that we are actively building and creating community, and that's one of our means of doing that. So it's also to say, if you have an idea or something that you want to kickstart, or something that you feel is a need in the community, then you can come and you can get in touch with us. You can send us your thoughts and your ideas, and we can see if we can try and make it happen.
One thing that I love about us, I love this. I forgot how sort of affirming it is, just sort of sitting talking about yourself for an hour. One thing that I think we do brilliantly, Becky, is that we're very, but really truly as an organization, one thing that I'm really proud of is that we are open.
Yeah.
Like, you can just send us a message and we will, bar, I think, a couple of messages over the years, we will reply to you and we'll have a conversation. And it might be that we'll have to reply at 2 a.m. because we're mental and we're busy and we're doing 10 things at once or 100 things at once right now. But that you can connect, that you can see that wee event and think, oh, you know why, you would love to go to that, but I can't make this one. And I'm a wee bit nervous or whatever it is. You will get a response from a human. And if it's the other side of social media, you'll get that response from either me or Becky. So reach out, say hello. When it comes to season 2, we're going to continue with our Queers Around the Corner. Yeah. So we are going, which is basically our segment where we invite you to send us letters, questions and comments and things similar to that. We will open them up and we will talk about them. What else? We're going to continue on sort of with season 2.
Well, we're going to continue on with our show and tell some love for our guests, because it's like, it was just sort of like a very loose idea and people seem to love it. So we will definitely do that as well.
We're going to continue on with Seán.
Yes.
Well.
Thank God.
Yeah, we're going to continue with Seán because we love him.
Yeah.
And he's very, very good at what he does.
Yeah.
I'll give you that 20 quid later.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to pass it across.
I agree. We should go back to the round table.
Yeah.
I think so.
Nothing in this room should be straight.
Yes,
apart from
exactly.
me.
Something about it just feels so I don't know, there's something about sitting like this that's really quite stiff.
Yeah.
And just that little bit round the corner of the table. We do have a lovely table upstairs.
Yeah.
That one in the green room.
Yeah.
When I say the green room, it's our private members lounge.
Yeah.
But we can take that down for podcasts and record, because this with a guest is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Like, you'll really just have to creak your neck, you know.
So, tell us like more about Greenhouse itself and because one of the main things is obviously coming into Greenhouse, it's like all the design choices.
True. Yes.
So like, what's some of the thinking behind, like, I mean, the art installations and stuff like that, and some of the wee smaller things, like the small details around the room. Talk us through it.
So when we first took over this space, it was Solicitor's Building. We've sort of given a wee bit of the tea on this in previous episodes, but it was a Solicitor's Building owned by Thompson's NI that are famous in the sector for supporting the unions and doing a lot of work with that.
They're socialist lawyers. They're really cool.
Really good people.
Yeah, really lovely to work with as well.
So we reached out to them and give them agreed an amount per month that was considerably less of what it was listed for. So they were very kind to us. When we moved in, the building itself it just hadn't been lived in for a while.
Yeah,
so
been
it
empty
was
for 3 years.
It was very cold. It was sort of a bit damp. There was dust and mold and bits everywhere. There was carpet tiles down. You seen it very, very early on, actually. Yeah. So you got to see sort of what the crack was. I think we fell for the fact that a lot of the walls were already creamy, sort of magnolia coloured. So I was like, white, that'll be grand. 4 coats of wall.
Yeah.
Like, even just the price of paint is crazy. So when we say we're independent, there is a cost for that. It means we don't just apply for some funding pot. We're not the LGBT, what do they call themselves? The LGBT sector or something, or the sector organisations or whatever they call themselves. We're not those. We're not like reach out for £5 million to take over a floor of a building somewhere. Yeah. We do a building in, what do we do it in? Less than £2,000? Yeah. So less than £2,000. We've basically painted everything white so that it's clean, so that it's fresh, so that it's welcoming. One for like hippie artists, mental cases, but then also for maybe some more corporate people, the change makers of that kind of bracket, people that are maybe journalists or PR people or people that that we work with and are inspired by, that people like that will still feel safe to come in and not feel like they're in some mad, crazy hippie squat, an actual squat. Yeah. But when it comes to sort of how we decided to design the space, we've used a lot of the colours that we've used in previous places, but I feel like we've muted it down. So our shop was like aggressively pink. I mean, this is muted, which is just crazy. So we've went with our pink tables and all the rest of it. We've got our yellow accents. We've got our pink triangles. The pink, yellow and now blue triangles actually are representative of a story. So They were first. The Pink Triangle was first inspired by the Pink Triangle from the Second World War, from Nazi concentration camps and that system that surrounded them. The Pink Triangle was for queer people, and the Yellow Triangle was for Jewish people. The Blue Triangle was for refugees and asylum seekers. The Red Triangle, which we have got the tin of paint and we just haven't got round to putting them around the spaces. The red Triangle was a mark of the resistance. So our boardroom come library up the stairs where activists come in and meet and all the rest of it is red themed, and we're going to have red triangles up there. Isn't it amazing?
I fucking love that.
Uh-huh. So that's sort of our little element that we've added. Now, a lot of the places where triangles are, they are still open space. They're like placeholders for artists to maybe come in. We've got loads of friends that are very, very talented, that when they have time or they have some spare paint or whatever happens, they can come in and do the walls. But we, on the run up to opening, worked with sort of a small collection of very talented friends and artists that give really quite a lot of their time to help us. People like, so we'll work through from reception, people like Carla Hutchins,
Yes,
who's just wonderful. She's called Cha-Cha, that's her street art name. Carla has painted all of our lovely leaves. So throughout the building, we have big jungle sort of leaves. So the toilets are covered in them. Our main stairs, which is this big spiral staircase that we've got grass and all of the little inserts, she's painted leaves there. And then our reception, she's actually painted leaves with lots of accents that are neon. So our lights sort of change them and move them. But moving into this space, who else do we have in here?
Coda and Felon.
Oh, Kodo.
Oh, so Chris Kodo, who we have been trying to work with for years. Chris, we first met in our Conswater space.
I love Chris
years
so much.
And years ago, where we were doing like a book appeal for. We were doing it for an organisation making like welcome packs. And Chris, who runs an organisation in Bangor called Coda Drops, came down and brought us loads of books that they had in their space. And basically, you and him just chatted and realised that you had loads in common and things like that. You had we're talking about things like mental health and working in the community and trying to be an artist at the same time. And basically, we've been trying to work together more ever since. And then as soon as this place came along, Chris was just like, yep, I'll come down, give you some time, and the beautiful pieces that we have in the walls and the kitchens and furniture and all the rest of it. It's just really just been iconic.
Painted everywhere.
Yeah,
so,
and there's more to do.
Our main beams in here were originally green. A lot of the beams were sort of treated with that. It's not like paint, but they sort of treat the metal. And a company was in here before to film a TV program called Dalgleish. I think it was ITV. And they had painted it all out for their sets. So rather than strip that and then maybe strip back the metal or whatever, we decided that Chris would do the pillars. Chris basically covered Chris has this design that is like Keith Haring meets Mr. Diddle meets, and he'll die for me saying Mr. Diddle, but Mr. Diddle meets some other sort of spacey, streety. It's much more free than that very set formation. But it almost looks what he's did here, which is much more of a sort of street feel, looks almost like tribal. And he's put it on those beams, but also on the chair that you're sitting on. So he's taken lots of pieces of furniture, including the big sofa in our reception, and sprayed it up. The fridge in reception's done. Those kitchen cabinets you said about, like shitty old fucking, they've been in from the 70s or 80s kitchen cabinets that we just couldn't afford to replace. Now look really good. So he spent so much time here, and we actually had a really nice time with him in this space. He would come at night and we would chill and smoke far too many fags, and I would cry and just generally have a bit of event. Like Chris, I think about Chris as sort of the straight, we've got very similar stories. And I feel like he's sort of like a straight version of me in terms of that story. So Chris has talked about this openly, and I have too. But Chris had a really hard time here and left to travel and sort of head out and sort of get to grips with substances and all the rest of it. When he was away, like myself, it got maybe actually a little bit worse than better, because you sort of run to the light, and often the light, it burns you, it burns you out. So he then returned home in not a very good space, same like myself. And he set up a community project because he thought, well, you know, if I'm really struggling with my head and I'm struggling to connect with other people, then I need a sense of purpose. I need to be able to give back and spend my time on planet Earth actually doing something meaningful. So he set up, exactly like us, really. So we've got an incredibly similar story. Like, we actually lived in the same block at the same time in Melbourne, in Australia, which is just crazy. We didn't ever meet at that time, but he's got that. So it's called Kodo Drops down in Bangor. It's a drop-in youth centre.
And it's just done a really cool project with Fatboy Slim doing a Pepito coffee jar.
Yeah.
So we'll put a wee link to that below so you can buy one and support local artists and their amazing projects that we do internationally.
In case you misheard that, Fatboy fucking Slim.
Yeah.
Like, as in with him in London multiple times.
Mates
doing
and all.
the thing. Mates. Welcome to the family on social media and all. Like, I'm just so all biz for him.
Yeah,
really,
we love him, and he deserves
the world.
Yeah,
and he's just, it's that thing that we talk about, especially in this city, in this country. He exemplifies the sort of the people that are successful here, which are just good cunts, people that really treat people well. And same for Carla as well. Carla is just so bloody sweet and is really trying her best and really gives her time and does loads for the community. So we had her here for that reason. And then really the other artist that we just love is called Felon Hardy. Felon is one of my oldest friends. We have known Felon for years. Him and his family have supported our project since we barely even had a name. And he has been he was here for weeks now. He works for the Lyric Theatre and he builds sets and he does lots of other bits. He's extremely talented. Felon comes from the greens parts of the film and TV industry, which is basically the people who make foliage look realistic, help to blend between green screen and the set itself with plants and bits and all the rest of it. He's worked on everything from Game of Thrones to all the other productions that have been here, and he's now branching out into more of a sort of sculptural moment as an artist. He's queer, and we love him for that. You don't have to be queer to be here, just to make it really clear. You don't have to be queer to be here. You don't have to be queer to be here. You don't have to be queer to be here, just to make it really clear. But he has built a sculpture in here that we're currently looking at now. I think what's going to happen with this podcast is that we're going to shift about the set. Yeah. As in, we'll show you different parts of the room. We'll show you different rooms in this place. Yeah. So we'll sort of move it around. But at some stage, we'll have his piece as a background. It's called Reach. And it's really quite hard to describe. It's a tree, it's a trunk that is growing from our floor up, like there's double height here, and it's a glass roof, so right up to the roof, coming up over across where we are right now. It's made from vines that are invasive and that are taking over trees in our sort of natural woodland, and then also woodland that has been cut back and trimmed, and then salvaged by Felon and sort of pieced together. It is the most beautiful, wonderful piece, and it really just solidifies the whole building. Actually,
brings it all together.
Yeah, but it's really became a moment. So those vines actually reach out over we've got a mezzanine, they reach out over the mezzanine, and they look wonderful. The feedback so far has been immense for Felon, and the love for Felon has been massive. He's also been just around us more, hasn't he? Sort of just coming to our volunteer drinks and sort of doing other bits. Lovely. It's been amazing. It's been wonderful. So thank you to Felon, thank you to Kodo and Chris. And to Carla. Who else sort of helped us along the way? Here?
Keelan has also done a filing cabinet, and Keto as well has contributed 3 pieces of art now.
I wish we put Keto's piece behind us actually
today.
So
well, we will for next time in our next set.
I don't know if Keto, the street artist, says his real name, so we'll not say it out loud, because he may or may not spray on walls he's not allowed to spray on. Yeah. But he's actually going to be one of a few people that are going to be part of what we're calling like an artist in residency program. We're going to release more of that information sort of as we move forward. Yeah. But all in all, it's very exciting. We have loads of artists that have already helped us, but also contributed work. People like Anna Fish. Yeah. People like, who else has contributed work so far? Loads of
Keelan's done one of our filing cabinets as well. So that'll be something coming up as well for the next late night art. We're going to do like a paint jam. for more of our filing cabinets as well.
McRoberts.
Keelan McRoberts, yes.
Who's going to be here and doing loads more. There seems to be a real wave. You know, I think you said the other day, I sort of feel like it's coming.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like there's something happening, and then you sort of just stopped yourself and you said, I actually feel like we're here.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this is the moment. And it's really important that when you're on the wave and it is the moment, one, to keep there and to sort of keep yourself steady and keep that ship going, but to just take a little second and be grateful and have gratitude that it's been a fucking journey.
Yeah, be present with it, you know, and take it in and not let it run away with you, you know, because it's like being in the flow is important and kind of going with the organic things that are coming, but at the same time for us, like we're taking a few days off next week as well, which will be lovely. But for us, it's just like the opportunity to just kind of breathe in it and not have, you know, it's like, what do they say in Drag Race? It's like, you know, she's wearing the dress isn't wearing her. It's important that we still stay really sort of lucid and open and mindful and sort of know what we're doing at the same time as also going with the flow and sort of having things happen in a somewhat organic way. And that's happening with all of the people that are coming, because even like the opportunities for events and things that are coming, you know, like somebody will come and get in touch, like Keelan saying about doing the, you know, selector days and things, maybe in the reception, playing some records, doing some coffees and stuff, like things like that is, it's just lovely that it just happens so organically.
Yes, we need that round table.
Yes, we do.
We desperately need that round table.
We also really need to wrap it up.
Yes, we are. We're going to go for a mushroom tour.
Yes.
Yeah, we are going to do mushrooms. No, we're not doing the mushrooms that we normally do.
And turkey somethings.
Turkey twizzlers.
Yeah.
That's what he does. So Terry round
tails.
at Hardy Growers is another just great person. And he's invited us to go and taste some of his mushrooms and do some stuff with them and maybe make a wee bit of content and things.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to scrounge a few mushrooms off them for upcoming events, like foodie kind of events here. So we're going to go and do that and meet some lovely hippie sorts that I don't know want to talk about mushrooms and that.
Yeah. But yes, have a wee look at our social media for our programs of events. So we will be releasing June very, very soon, but there's still plenty of events on in May. So please do come along, support. We've had a small bit of funding from Belfast City Council as part of Belfast 2024, but that has funded our project staff costs, but it is our staff costs only. And that's something that we want to make sure that the message stays out there as well. So whenever we're doing events, whenever we're doing maybe something like we'll be doing fashion fleas regularly, which have been wonderful so far. So please do come along. Please do give us your support. And the more that we have the opportunity to know that like our bills are paid and that we know what the crack is, the more free events that we can do, the more community building things that we can do, and the more that we can offer that can be donation only, for example. So please do come along to any of our stuff or just put some money into just giving or buy a t-shirt or whatever.
That's the thing, you know, if you can't make it, but you do want to contribute, you can do that.
Yeah, buy a ticket for somebody else.
Now that we're in a much larger space that has unbelievable running costs in terms of utilities and all the rest of it, we're going to we'll have to get much more comfortable with just being the charity that we are and saying that if your work's doing a fundraiser, fucking get on it, put us forward for it. Yeah. Because some of the big organisations have just millions of pounds of funding, and we have so far from that. We would really like that, and we've got lots of stuff to offer, from like you were saying, that merch to the events, or you can just donate direct and help us out.
Yes, love it. Well, hopefully you have enjoyed our little very, very brief tour and chat around Greenhouse. And we will be back next week with a different set, a different scene, and possibly a wee guest to talk to. So.
We'll not be sick.
Yeah.
That will be a start.
There'll be less coughing, less editing for Seán as well.
Sorry, Seán, darling.
You're okay.
But we're very, very glad to be back.
We are very glad to be back, and we're so glad to be back with you, Seán. We love you so much. Yes. And we're so glad that you're our producer.
Yes.
Is ever go and follow 1620 Audio.
If you're thinking about doing a podcast,
do
no
it.
better person to talk to.
Do it. Well, we will see you next week, and we hope that you've lot show some love.
Bye.
Goodbye.